What's up, everyone? Welcome to the April 13th edition of DraftKings Tournament Plays presented by PrizePicks. I'm your host, Adam Scherer. You can follow me on Twitter at ShipMyMoneyDFS. And as a reminder, you get one free month of Awesemo plus Platinum when you sign up and make a deposit at PrizePicks. Be sure to use the code Awesemo to receive a 100% first deposit bonus up to $100. We only have a 4-game slate tonight. Also, keep in mind it's starting at 6:40 Eastern, so 25 minutes earlier than normal. Just don't want that to sneak up on you. Be aware of that. But with it being a 4-game slate, we still have stuff to, stands we can make in tournaments. Not quite as appealing as they would be on bigger slates because a lot of times on these shorter slates, you kind of, if you're trying to make contrarian teams, you kind of get stuck going up against pitchers that you otherwise wouldn't want to and rostering pitchers that you also probably wouldn't really want to. But taking a look at the top 3 stacks for DraftKings tournaments and the top 3 pitchers using the top stacks and top pitchers tools on Awesemo.com. Starting with the stacks, number 3, Baltimore Orioles have a 7% chance of being the top stack on tonight's slate. They're projected for about 5% aggregate ownership. They have a very difficult matchup against Corbin Burnes. They also only have a 3.5 implied run total, but they are projected to be a little bit under-owned, and you also have to imagine Burnes is going to be pulling tons of ownership on tonight's slate. So if Baltimore does have a good game, even though it's not going to happen very often, you do also get some added leverage there. Number 2, Tampa Bay Rays, projected for an 11% chance of being the top stack, 8% aggregate ownership. They also have a difficult matchup against Frankie Montas, although he's not on the same level as Burnes. He is still a good pitcher. They're also in Tropicana Field, which we know is a difficult place to hit and score runs, but they do have a decent 4.4 implied run total. They have a lot of power in their lineup. They also have some speed, and they just give you a high ceiling, even though the matchup isn't great against Montas. Number 1, the Toronto Blue Jays, projected for an 11% chance of being the top scoring stack at 9% aggregate ownership, taking on Garrett Cole in New York. Only a 3.7 implied run total, but Toronto is the type of team where, especially on short slates where they're not getting much ownership, I really like going there just because of the massive amount of power that they have top to bottom in their lineup. We know Cole's a very good pitcher. We know that the Jays are unlikely to succeed, but they do have the potential to pay you off really well just because when they do succeed, they have the ability to just put up such massive scores because of the power in their lineup. Now, looking at the top 3 tournament pitchers, coming in at number 3 on the other side of the Toronto game, Garrett Cole, $9,200 price tag, projected for 20% ownership with a 23% chance of being a top 2 scoring pitcher. The Jays, as mentioned before, have a 3.7 implied run total. Cole is an excellent strikeout pitcher, and while this is a dangerous matchup against Toronto, Cole is one of the highest upside pitchers whenever he takes the mound. Number 2, John Means, only $6,000, taking on the Milwaukee Brewers in Baltimore, projected for 20% ownership with a 24% chance of being a top 2 scoring pitcher. The Brewers have a modest 4.5 implied run total, kind of average, and we just know Means is a good pitcher. He doesn't offer the same sort of strikeout potential that somebody like Garrett Cole does, but he's also inexpensive. He'll let you get some expensive bats into your lineup, and he is still a solid pitcher. And number 1, Robbie Ray, $9,400 in a dangerous matchup against the Chicago White Sox. Rays projected for 24% ownership with a 29% chance of being a top 2 scoring pitcher. The White Sox have a 4.6 implied run total. They have plenty of right-handed power in their lineup. We know that Ray can be prone to home runs, but he also has elite strikeout stuff and is capable of giving you a very high-scoring tournament performance anytime he takes the mound. So to recap, the top 3 tournament stacks on DraftKings: number 3, Baltimore Orioles; number 2, Tampa Bay Rays; number 1, Toronto Blue Jays. And the top 3 tournament pitchers on DraftKings: number 3, Garrett Cole; number 2, John Means; and number 1, Robbie Ray.